Maybe that timing will help? Oh, the color conflicts. The color conflicts. What's up, dudes? This is Cards of the Heart. This is Tetris Attack for the Super Nintendo, and today I might be able to break Tetris Attack Endless Mode wide open. Let's see how that works, dudes.
Dude!
Welcome back to the Friday Night Salt Mines, where we can all come and gather to mold over old puzzle games. Welcome to everyone that is watching on YouTube, on Twitch, on Rumble, on Kick. I was kind of experimenting there with a little bit of a YouTube intro, and yes, I think there's something that can be done to make endless mode in Tetris Attack a little more consistent. I can possibly figure out how it works, and then maybe the speedruns will be a lot more consistent, and maybe, I don't know, like maybe even Joe Slows like me can compete with the best of the best in trying to get faster times. We'll see. We'll certainly see how it develops as I look through what might be possible with endless mode tonight. Hey, gamers, got stuff, dude.
Dude!
We'll see if I could actually get to any runs after this. I might be just in full research mode today. I've been told some things about how Pokemon Puzzle League's related mode plays, but I haven't really dug too deep into those mechanics myself. So I'm gonna try to go into Tetris Attack today with a bit of an open mind, and hopefully I have a lot more answers by the time I am done today. Let's see here. I think this is everything I wanted to do before we get started. So let's go ahead and jump into the game, starting right now. And I'm kind of appearing a little bit larger than life than usual, cause yeah, I'm probably not gonna have a timer in front of me for any meaningful reason unless I somehow get to doing runs again. My goal today will just be to look at how Tetris Attack's functioning and see if there's anything consistent to it that I can break. Looks like my controller that I normally use with emulators is not connecting. So let's see here. Sometimes I just need to unplug it and plug it back in. Little fussy sometimes, but not too bad. So here is the entire hypothesis behind what I am looking for today. A long time ago, I've forgotten how long ago it was by this point. During some of my exploits into Pokemon Puzzle League's Marathon mode, the comparable mode of play in the N64 version to this game's Endless mode, the world record holder in like the fastest modes of play at the time. Still is, but he's no longer around the community for various reasons I will not get into here. His name was Blinzer, and he had tipped me off to one really key detail about how Pokemon Puzzle League Marathon works that may or may not have enabled him to really squeak out more seconds in speeding through the marathon mode that other players of his speed may not have been able to get to. He told me that marathon only had a few set patterns, and if you play marathon mode enough times, you will start to see some patterns of panels that will become familiar to you. Some of them will repeat. So I don't remember exactly what he said about how many different patterns there are, but I have to think that if Pokemon Puzzle League plays that way, certainly Tetris Attack has a chance to. And I have seen some similarities in what I found from playing with the mode last week. So I'm gonna start by seeing how many different patterns you can start with in this endless mode. See how much consistency there is, and if I can get to any familiar seeds, any repeatable seeds of starting leading to starting panel arrangements, perhaps I can find a way to do them, just do those stages consistently fast, and perhaps that can lead to overall faster times. So I am going to give some endless mode a go. I'm just gonna like load stages. That's gonna be my most important thing. So yeah, let's do this. All right, I'm just gonna go through some random seeds. I'll play around a little bit as a warm-up, and this little opportunity to burn through the random number generator a bit. I'm definitely not as crisp on emulator as I would be on console. So, like, once I get around to testing various stages, I may not be able to operate them to the best of my normal abilities. Okay, I can do a nifty little catch right there by just mashing the swap button until the swapping happens. Okay, so let's see let's see what else. See what else I can find here. I'm gonna like burn my way through several different formations, and I'm going to see just how many of these will repeat. Because I've also been told some somewhat important things about the starting generation of panels, like how this stack here has some gaps in it. Like, the number of panels is always the same across these stages, but the general orientation of them can change. And I've been told that there are 32 different arrangements that the panels can be in at the very start. Although the place I originally had to verify that information has been deleted, and I haven't been in touch with the person who first came to that discovery in a while. So KSS, if you're watching, dude, your paste bin got nuked a year ago. So all the research you'd done that you had shared with me on the Panepon stuff has been erased. So I would have to potentially look through my DMs with her to see if she saves them or maybe not. See, we'll see. But hey, beef! We have the beef for 28 months in a row. Thanks for supporting, as always, dude. That is a nice little subscription on Twitch for you. I have memberships on YouTube also, if you want to support me more consistently, and the memberships are cheaper on YouTube. It's 99 cents for a tier 1 membership there. So you have that as an option. I don't know if it's an option on Kick or Rumble or not, but there are definitely some ways that it seems you can support on Rumble, at least. I'm not sure about Kick yet, but as I continue to fiddle more with those platforms, I'll figure out ways to make use of them to allow me to give you dudes some more benefits to watching. So we'll see how that goes. All right, so I'm trying to scroll through a few different starting arrangements of these panels. I want to see how repeatable some of these are. Now, what's gonna complicate things somewhat is that there are 32 different unique arrangements for how the starting panels are put together in verses. I don't know how that might potentially affect Endless. In fact, maybe KSS told me at one point there was a different arrangement. So that would be the idea. The idea would be to try and memorize these stages and see if anything could come off identical. So let's see here. Let's look at these arrangements here. Anything coming to mind on how these are arranged? There are definitely some similarities that I'm seeing already. There's something suspicious going on between these two states. So far, I can't say there are too many amazing things going on here, but I will take screenshots, take as many as I can, see how varied things might change. So again, part of the problem with this mode is that, at least in Versus, there are 32 different arrangements for how starring panels may be generated. Okay, that state that I just made does seem to ring a bit of a bell. So I'll come up with a way to get back to that one in just a bit and be able to show it on screen. That one also seems familiar. I don't think I'm gonna see too many stages in this batch that are familiar to each other, but some of them might be familiar to some of the ones I've already seen. Like that one also seems familiar to similar to the state 3 that I just made. This is my state 7. Hold on. Okay. So this is gonna be a new state 7. I do wonder just how many unique patterns I'm going to run into. Oh, some of these are repeating. I really am recognizing some of these patterns already. I'm seeing enough similarities to merit a closer look. So what was it like? What was I looking at here? My state 7, my state 3 looked identical. Let's see here. Let's pause this for a second. So state 7. Okay, no, it's not. Oh, state 6 and 7 look similar. Let's see. 2 and 8? No. Six and 9. 7 and 9? There's a lot of overlap in those. State 10 doesn't look like anything I've particularly done. So let me log these. And let me see if I can show off this window. We have added a way to see. It's just a matter of figuring out where I put everything else. Where is it? Here. Let's see. Not have anything. Let me add thing. Try this. See how this looks. And let's see how much cropping I'm gonna have to do to make this somewhat visible. Yeah, that's the main problem with making screenshots in this emulator I'm working on. They make the screenshots at the native resolution of the console. So for the Super Nintendo, the screenshots are 256 by 224. So making them really, really small unless I blow them up to like 3x. So that you dudes could see them.
Dude!
Problem is navigating from photo to photo. The zoom doesn't save, so I am gonna crop this. to make this just a little more visible. Not that much. That might be a bit too much. Let's see. Now, why are you doing maximum size only? You should be scaling. Alright, let's make this even bigger, shall we? Not that big. That looks good. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that for like a round number. And that looks fine. And that looks fine. So, let's see across these screenshots if any stick out as potentially identical. If there's any sort of looping to how these screenshots are generated. It sure seems like there's some overlap. There is some overlap in the panel generation. Nothing's really striking me as related just yet. So, how about some more screenshots then? Take some more screenshots. Oh, that one reminds me of something I've already seen. And it's really is this deja vu I've been experiencing from years and years and years of speedrunning this game that led me to figure out real-time RNG manipulation for versus mode in the first place. So, when I notice a pattern, there's usually something real to it. So, one thing I'm trying to do here is make sure that I am not completely hallucinating when I do notice some sort of pattern. I want to see if there is a pattern that can be abused. So let's keep looking at these screens and see if there is anything similar. Like that one sure seems like it's something I've already seen. Let's see here. Okay. All right, let me take some screenshots. I don't know. I don't know if these are okay, they are already getting populated. Into my image viewer. Now I have to wonder. Now I have to wonder if there is anything similar going on here. And perhaps looking at these screenshots side by side in Windows will make these a bit easier to see. So this one looks suspicious. Which number is this in my sequence? Number 6 in my sequence. In the first batch I picked up. This one looks very similar to a screenshot that I just looked at. So just captured. So let's see. Like pay attention to the two purple panels here. See if there's one here that has another sequence of purple panels like that. So that it feels like not the first time I've ran into that pattern. Like that's similar, but that's not quite it. So there's something similar. It's not quite what I'm looking for. I will show off another thing that I found recently. That's more amusing than anything else, but could serve to have a little more insight on how all this works. First off, I'm gonna load a RAM watch. So a little peek into the memory of the game. That is certainly possible with emulators. Maybe peeking into the game's memory. Poking in the game's memory might to give me some other insight. So let's see how visible this is on screen. And I had another window for it, but let me capture this window as well. Oh no, there it is. see how visible this is. Not very. So let's blow this up a little bit. So these are all like a bunch of different memory addresses I've found that makes it looking at this game interesting to me. Some various individual values I've been able to pick up in this, and the thing I'm most concerned about is in the random number generator. Like I actually found the addresses in RAM that will not only tell the game like which point in the sequence of 2048 bytes long of memory of panels that's internally stored in the game to look at, but also how many loops that going through the sequence has been done. Just another way of looking at where to reference the next panel to generate. So I like to look at these two values, and the thing I discovered recently, had been like in the last few months in researching things, I press this button here to freeze this RNG value so it cannot increment upon generating new panels. It's not a thing in this mode. Okay, good to know. But if you go to Versus, it's supposed to be a thing where you can more or less make the same panel spawn for a number of rows. The thing I had noticed was like that around the same 8 rows or so of panels were getting generated. Alright, let me clear some things out. I'm gonna restart this. I do believe that one can generate. That one can like if this never increments, then it's a sequence of 8 rows that gets propagated into the game. So I'm gonna try to maintain this row here. And let's see how long it takes this row to spawn again. Because if I have frozen the right value, then then this row should be appearing again. Okay, maybe not, but we're seeing some similarities here. Let's look at this. Let's look at this again. See how often. Let's see how often the same pattern is being duplicated. I believe it's actually the same 4 rows. That are getting duplicated. We can ignore the random shock panels, because those are generated based on the number of panels you clear. But yeah, we're seeing a sequence of like the same 3 rows appear to be generated here. Let's freeze this for a second. I want to capture cursor for this. Like, okay, like these two rows, like these 2 rows are identical. And the only reason this row is different is because this shock panel, it did not replace the panel that was supposed to be in this row. But it does seem like it did like push the queue. It did push the queue of generated panels. Well, maybe it replaced. No, okay, it probably did replace the first one. No, hold on. Hold on. I'm not 100% understanding how this is working. The point being that if you can freeze the random number generator in place, you'll quickly get to recurring rows of panels. We're seeing some identical rows here and some identical rows here. Like this matches up with this, matches up with this, matches up with this. So maybe it's just 2 rows in this game that get stored. I believe in Pokemon Puzzle League, that may have been where well, that couldn't be where I discovered it, because the random number generator I haven't been able to figure out yet. But yeah, the same rows are getting duplicated there. And they're getting duplicated here. Hold on. Hold on. So the next row... So it's like the next row is queued up after the starting arrangement. And then the next two... It's like okay, the first three rows are generated, then the next two rows are getting duplicated. Let's see here. I don't think the arrangement is quite as simple as I had first suspected. Like, these two rows can be ignored. But with the RNG frozen, the next two rows are getting duplicated. What does this mean? What does this mean? If I were to unfreeze the RNG now, I do not need that screenshot. Need to unpause. Oh, I thought I had nope, I thought I had unfrozen.
I don't think so, Tim.
Nope, I had frozen the wrong thing. So I need to unfreeze both of the values that affect RNG. Are there any rows that get duplicated here? This is certainly leading to a different theory. There are some similar patterns coming here, but not enough. Oh wait. Oh wait, this is similar. Okay, I suppose if I were to scan through all of the different rows I've been seeing just in this game, I'd be able to see some similar arrangements. Like this feels like I've already seen. So how about keeping an eye for an upcoming row that's heart, star, star, heart, heart, triangle, triangle. Heart, star, star, heart, triangle, triangle. Let's see how well I'm gonna be able to remember that. Heart, star, star, heart, triangle. Yeah, I'm trying to find some duplication somewhere. Oh, there are some similar formations, but not the same one I was just calling out. Trying not to make combos potentially throw off the data, but let's see. What is it, like heart, star, star, heart, triangle, triangle? Something like that? Oh, that's a similar one. Heart, star, triangle, triangle, star, heart. That's similar, but that may just be the... That may just be the random number generator looping. Okay, there is a loop. There is a loop. There is a loop, and in the event of a loop, the game will like increment where it is referencing the where it is referencing the internal sequence. So maybe just a similar arrangements are enough to identify where things might be looping. Let's see. Again, I can't help but think that there is a way to eventually make this loop. I think I can safely conclude that it's not a fixed number of patterns as I would have theorized. I'm not quite There is something repeating. I'm not seeing it right now. Again, this feels like something I can break, but I'll have to take a little bit of a break. Twitch dudes, I'll see you in like 3 minutes. And one for the wimps on YouTube. Okay. Is there anything I can glean from this process so far? Really? I've not found much of anything useful right now. And maybe just playing through I don't know, maybe just doing a bunch of different runs will help me recognize the different sequences? I don't know. I don't know, dudes. I can't seem to make sense of what's going on right now. Maybe someone much smarter than me with programming will be able to look at this stage and figure it out better than I can, because I am really coming up with nothing right now. But yeah, any dudes got any plans for the weekend? Because I think I'm gonna be able to catch up on YouTube Shorts. Because there is a last chance qualifier for the Tetris Attack tournament that starts next week that people are welcome to sign up for, and only one person has signed up for it. So the stream is not currently set to happen. It also looks like 3 of the people who played in the open tournaments are also not going to be playing either. So the way things are set at the moment, we have a clean field of 16 players. Might be the best thing for my psyche that I could ask for, but we'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling once the tournament starts. Alright, dudes. Let me keep playing through this endless Tetris Attack stage. See if any familiar pattern emerges. So far, I have not been able to see much of anything. So I'm looking for more rows that start heart star star. There's a particular pattern. Did not have these panels, instead had a pair of these. So there's like some repetition in here, but it's not the exact repetition I observed when I started this stage. I was like, there are some repeats. There are some repeating sequences, but nothing that I found all that identifiable right now. And I'm wondering... Actually, I just had a bit of a brain blast. No, I do not need this screenshot. That is not the button I wanted to press. I wanted to pause. I'll load my state 10. Now I'm going to on this RAM watch, I'm going to freeze this increment. I'm going to freeze the increment and see how long it takes for a matching row to show up. So let's take a look for this green green blue red yellow green. I'm gonna write this down somewhere. Green, blue, red, yellow, green. I'm gonna raise a number of rows until I see that sequence again. Let's see if it does show up. I'm gonna raise 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's gonna play the game out. A little bit in order to clear out some things. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 rows raised so far. $11, $12, $13, $14, $15. Lots of doubles going on here. $16, $17, $18, $19. Again, I'm just looking for a particular sequence to duplicate itself. I'm trying to see how many rows of panels I need to generate before it comes back. I believe I'm at 19 rows. This is 20. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. This is similar but not the same. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37. I am wondering if I have kept my count or not. I can always go back to the tape and confirm, so I'm not super concerned about keeping a correct count now. 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47 rows. That's similar, but also not the same. 48, 49, 50, 52, 53, 54, I don't know. Five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 60 something rows, 61 maybe. Like the speed's getting high enough that maybe an extra row came up that I was not counting. 61, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Might be at 68 right now. Could certainly be nicer. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 76 maybe? I don't know. All I can see from here so far I'm gonna let this pause running and actually show the RAM watch. The initial reference point for the panel table is kind of moving out of control, like it would normally be in the menus. It's normally not how it increments in versus. So that part is different right now, and okay, I'm done counting. At this point I am simply looking for the sequence I identified before. That started with the green, green, blue in the first 3 columns. I'm gonna be looking for that sequence and see how long it takes to show up again. Really not jiving with the hypothesis that I had going into this show. This is a green, green, yellow, not a green, green, blue. So this is not quite it. Again, it's just a sequence. I saw at the beginning of the stage. I'm trying to reproduce through brute force of freezing things in place. In order to figure out if it's possible to see the sequence again. Like this, not this double green. It was not this double green, it was like green, green, blue, yellow? Blue, red. Green, green, blue, red. Is the starting sequence I'm looking for. I am really not sure if it's going to show up again. And if it's not, then it's really going to call into question everything that I was told about Pokemon Puzzle League. And maybe there are other rows duplicating that I'm not seeing. Again, it's an easy enough chore to go through the footage later and see what might have been duplicated in this. So far, nothing's making any sense. Again, I'm trying to look for a pattern that starts with 2 greens in the first 2 columns. Looking for a particular sequence of that. So far, I have yet to make appear. So, all of my notions of how panels are generated in Endless are certainly being called into question right now. It was a green, green, blue. That I'm trying to duplicate. Still not seeing it. certainly making some pretty things happen here. Hey, Vice, up, dude?
Dude?
Yeah, it's pretty much nothing. Pretty much nothing's making sense right now. Some sense I thought I was going to be able to make into this is really not coming together. How I thought it would. So if this morale does not improve, if morale does not improve here, I might just be doing more runs tonight after all. 'Cause I am really not seeing anything duplicating here. By the way, I am reviewing the stop timer here as I am making random matches. The stop timer here, you can more or less equate to real-time seconds. Especially as the timer gets closer to 0. Like, that might be one of the only things that's making any load of sense right now. Again, there's a specific sequence of panels that I'm trying to get to pop up. Which is similar to this, but it starts with a green, green, blue color arrangement. So I really have no idea it seems, how these panels are working. And as the stack reaches its maximum endless level of a 50, which is the absolute maximum speed. Like you can up the speed in the endless menu to 99, but there doesn't seem to be any real difference in how fast the stack rises between 50 and 99. Not a real noticeable one anyway. So, considering how effectively speed capped I am, it's gonna make looking for this row of panels I'm trying to generate a bit trickier. So it was a green, green, blue, red, yellow, green string that I am trying to recreate. So far, I have not been able to do so at all. So far, I've not been able to really come close to seeing it, even once. I don't know. I really don't know about this one, dudes.
Dude!
Now, if it was just starting sequences I could look for, then perhaps I could continue with the screenshotting charade I've been doing, that I was doing to start the show. And maybe then I could potentially reach some conclusion about how the starting panels are generated. Right now, things are not making a lot of sense, dudes.
Dude!
And I've been in this endless game for 20 minutes. The things have been moving at their peak speed for quite some time. And nothing's really changed despite me freezing the one of the values that the random number generator uses to dictate the next panel. As far as versus goes. I have not been able to duplicate the set of panels I've been looking for a while now. So whatever preconceived notions I had about how the random number generator works in this level doesn't seem to be based on anything real. Doesn't seem to be based on anything. Doesn't seem to be based on any mechanism that I have become familiar with on how panels are generated in this game. And admittedly, everything just about everything that I've known about how the generation of panels goes almost been like almost entirely told to me secondhand. Oh wait, is that it? That's the row, dudes. That's the exact same row. Now, did I actually have to go through 2,048 rows to get back to that sequence? I have no idea. But there does seem to be some sort of hope there. Like there does seem to be some sort of potential in figuring out the generation of these panels by finally seeing this row be generated after nearly 25 minutes of playing out this endless mode, which is a real hell of a period of time to be playing endless mode in any capacity. So I'm wondering now, how long it could potentially take to spawn that again. And that's after messing with part of the random number generator. So I really have no idea if I am any closer now to figuring out anything about how panels are generated than I was when I started today. So I'm starting to think that my efforts here in trying to duplicate things is entirely fruitless until I can go back into the footage and find out how many panels it took to get that row to spawn again. And again, this was after freezing part of the random number generator. To cheat in the spawn. So yeah, there is probably no point to going on with this exercise, but considering the time I've got to kill until the next Twitch mandated commercial break, perhaps I can just continue to play around with this a little bit longer. Yeah, it sure seems clear from what I'm seeing here that I cannot realistically get any consistency. So the only thing I know to do at this immediate juncture is to keep playing out this specific game until I see that row again. And all that's really going to tell me is how often the... That's probably only going to tell me how often the game is iterating through 1, maybe 2 loops. Or maybe 8 loops. Some amount of iterations through the panel sequence. Some number of iterations I can figure out later. There's also for shiggles I could just play this out until level 99. Which I don't know how many people have bothered to do that and have had the ability to do so. This is a green, green, yellow. Again, the sequence I'm looking for started green, green, blue. It was green, green, blue, red, yellow, green. It's a sequence I'm trying to find again. But for all I know, it'd take another 10 plus minutes in order to find it. Of course, this is certainly not a terrible warm-up for actually doing endless runs potentially after this next break. Oh, hold on. Hold on, I need to go to my YouTube. I want to look at my YouTube dashboard and see if I just stumbled upon it again. No. No, that was a green, green, yellow row. So, false alarm there. Of course, once you get the stack of panels towards the very top, like I am here, the initial combo or chain that you start from there will have a bit of a multiplied boost to your stop timer. I can't remember for the life of me how big it's supposed to be. I think I've heard it described as 50%, but that is something that I can easily verify by watching back this footage. So I could easily be remembering a whole bunch of things I've forgotten about this game as a result of playing through this tonight, and certainly will make developing future videos on the tutorial series. If I had other things I needed to add about endless mode, I would be well equipped to add more to my understanding and produce more in-depth content about this mode. More in-depth explanations about how this mode operates. Knowledge that I admittedly have not had before doing this show. I've had no interest in figuring out before this show. And certainly anything that can improve my knowledge base even just a little bit should be able to serve the community well. In terms of sharing whatever knowledge I would ever hope to impart upon the community. Because I will make no bones about it, dudes. I will certainly not be playing this series in a speedrun context forever. I am fully expecting my hands to give out long before my interest in playing these games wanes. Like, honestly, if I were a higher functioning adult when it comes to this series, I would have stopped playing it a long time ago. There's almost undoubtedly something autistic in how I have treated my interest in this series over the years. That's a green, green, blue, blue. That is not the right sequence. But if things are looping like I have suspected that they have been, then perhaps I am close to getting the row in question to show up again. Maybe. Again, I'm looking for a row of panels that from the left starts green, green, blue. It's green, green, blue, red, yellow, green. That is what I'm looking for. Now how long it's gonna take to appear still something that I'm not 100% sure about. I will keep this going. Okay, there it is. Okay. Alright, just when I was about to completely lose my mind, alright, found it again, dudes.
Dude?
So that actually took me close to 20 minutes. I think it was closer to 17 minutes of in-game time that seemed to take. And time will tell from looking at the footage if there is any there's a consistent loop going on there. In fact, I can go back right now to my Twitch dashboard. Probably the easier place for me to look at this. Alright, what was the row I was starting? When did I start this particular stage? Okay, there's the row I was calling out. There's no consistent duplication. Oh. This is just pure coincidence, dudes.
Dude?
Man. And the surrounding rows aren't the same in neither case. Ugh, okay. Okay, I'm gonna undo the experiment of unfreezing everything. Let's... Alright, I'll fiddle around with this a little bit more after the break. I'm gonna see if I can... I'm gonna see if I can relocate some lost stages. I'm gonna see if I can rediscover some starting stages. And then I will actually go to doing some runs again, because I am like plenty warmed up to be at peak speedrunning efficiency as it is. So I may want to strike while the iron's hot. So Twitch dudes, I will see you in 3 minutes. And one for Jenny and the Wimps on YouTube. I am in desperate need of a stretch. And probably a trip to the little speedrunners room, so I will be right back, dudes. Well, dudes,
Dude.
the Browns decided that they decided that they needed to make a second visit to the Super Bowl today, and they were not taking no for an answer, so I had to excuse myself to take care of that for a second, but we are back, dudes, and
Dude.
Tetris Attack Endless Mode is really not showing me anything special in this session, so I am gonna have to perhaps figure things out with this game a different time. In the meanwhile, I do want to take a few more screenshots with the starting panel arrangements and see if there are any similarities that I can find again. I'll take a few more screenshots. See if there is any repeatable sequence in this. There might be a repeatable sequence in the starting panel arrangements, like where the gaps are. Other than that, I have absolutely no idea. Let's take another gander here. So there were another batch of 10 stages. Alright, pause that. And look in the screenshots folder to see if there are any new stages that seem to come up. Like maybe this general shape is getting duplicated fairly regularly. Like maybe the, hold on, are the shapes like looping? Hold on, is that a thing? No. Wait, okay, hold on. hold on, maybe that's something I can key on. Like how many times are the starting stack slopes being duplicated? Is there some frequency to that? That I can take advantage of. That does not seem to logically follow. I think if I do run into KSS again, she can pull up her research on potentially how frequently these starting panel slopes occur, like how often each of these gaps in these specific columns will happen, or these general slopes. Because I was told there are 32 possible combinations, at least as far as verses went. And maybe she found a probability for each of those arrangements. Because I am seeing some meaningful duplication of some of those arrangements. I don't think that gets me any closer to determining just how the panels get generated after that. I thought I was seeing some duplication here. On further review, it seems that I cannot properly articulate or demonstrate what sort of patterns I might have been seeing. There are plenty of similarities. There's not a repeating pattern that I can take advantage of. So, what can I conclude from this? Seems right now I just don't know enough dudes.
Dude!
And at this point, the kind of research I would need to dig into is it digs into stuff that I know nothing about, and I'm not sure how long it would take me to learn about assembly code for the SNES. Like all the documentation's out there to learn how to interpret instructions. Like I could go into the emulator, go into like a debugger, and I can see the instructions being executed. I could look for breakpoints. I could look for accumulators. I could look for references. But to have any idea of what any of those things mean is way above my pay grade, dudes. So I don't see how I can make any fruitful insights into how things work with this. So I suppose for now let me try to do one thing here. Let me hide myself here. And let's see if I can bring myself back to my usual station. Here. I'm going to want timer. I'm going to want to actually load my timer. I'm going to want to start my game. So I think now will be the time that I actually do some proper speedruns while I am somewhat properly warmed up. Like maybe now with some additional insights into things, and definitely don't need you in a full view of you tonight, that's for sure, Q. Where is my game capture? It is right over here. Alright, that works. Always can't help but wonder how quickly things will break. With all of the old technology I'm working with, stuff that I've been using since probably 2018 at this point. Some of this stuff, like this microphone, has been in use since 2015. I am very much searching for like cheaper ways to upgrade all of these things. Because I'm not quite prepared to go all in on this streaming thing. Not when I don't have the capital to withstand a slow start to this, dudes.
Dude!
So hoping to like ease into something a little bit more professional looking for me. That makes things more entertaining for you dudes.
Dude!
Alright, let's see if this is going to show however I want it. Alright, looks like it will. Looks like it will be fine. This I have not adjusted because I wasn't sure how many runs I was going to do today. But I am here to do some runs now, and we'll see if we'll see how close I can potentially get to this current 30,000 point record. Last week I got to within 2 seconds. And this is mostly just an exercise to humor myself, because I'm fairly certain a little bit of grinding from Yoshi, the record holder in the max score category, would have a chance to blow this time right out of the water. And just out of curiosity, let me take a quick gander at Yoshi's record run to see how fast he even gets to 30,000. Admittedly, this was a few years ago at this point. So it's not aged particularly well. But perhaps it can give me some insight as to the pace I need to set. Of course, playing on the hard level, as Yoshi always does for these runs, can only tell me so much. So, like, on the hard level, like on the 99k score run, he gets to 30,000 at 52 seconds. He could have ended his chain right there. He could have ended his chain after getting that score. He's one row from the top of the field. He could, with some ease, get a 53. So a lot of this probably won't matter in the grand scheme of things. Like, Yoshi can take the record however he wants. But I do at least want to give myself a sort of challenge before I potentially leave that to Yoshi. And honestly, Yoshi's at the point in his life with this game that he's not necessarily enthused to grind it ever again. he's had plenty of burnout issues with his time. He's had physical issues trying to keep up his usual speed. And all I can say about how he's doing now is that he's got other priorities in life to worry about. So his motivation to do any sort of grinding in this game is very, very low, if not zero. So there's certainly a chance that he does not go for this record. But if he does, it's practically free for him. That's all I'm saying. Alright. I got maybe a half hour to play with? Yeah. Yeah, a half hour is probably enough to get in some quality attempts, so let's see what I can do here. Let's do a run here. I am a Raphael main, so let's give this one a go. Run down. Okay, that extra match is not instilling a whole lot of confidence. Alright, 14-3 is not a bad start. I'm trying to pull off 2 sequences of chains. In order to get to this 30,000 point figure. This 30,000 points is the minimum number of points needed to reach the full credit sequence within this mode. There's a little more abbreviated sequence at 15,000 points. But the full one's at 30. And honestly, a 15,000 point category would not be too terribly interesting. So I did create the 30,000 point category. A while ago, several years ago at this point. Try and make sure that a minimum point score that was more accessible could be reached. Even there, I only got to 28.6 at 57 seconds. That is not good enough, dudes.
Dude!
Alright, let me try this again. Now, the current best time was actually done on the easy level, which is not the absolute fastest level one could go through in order to score these points the fastest. But as someone who still has trouble to this day handling the harder levels, handling the faster speeds, this is the level that I am most comfortable with going through right now. Like, that little slowdown to start the next chain link might have proven to be a bit too much. One more match during that entire sequence would have been nice. It's like once I get to the higher chain links, the extra matches at those chain links can score the same point multiplier, score the same point bonus as you would get from making the chain link, the initial chain link in the first place. So like this 2 chain will score 50 points. Let me demonstrate this. So this match scores nothing. That match scores 50 points, but this match also scores 50 points because there's an active 2 chain going on. So you want to try and save that for the X13 chain as much as you can, because the X13 chain scores 1,800 points. The scaling once you get to the double-digit chain sizes is ridiculous. So I'm trying to save all my extra matches for when I get to the bigger chain sizes, and I already took too long to start that. So there's a lot of tricky nuance into this, especially when you realize that the question mark mystery chains score 0 extra points. They go back to scoring nothing, just like you had started the chain over again. So I am really not trying to make my chains too big, and I don't want to make them too small. So there's a delicate balance between there's a delicate balance I'm trying to strike with when to make matches and when to score. If I'm able to make any sense about that, which I usually don't. I was a couple matches short. I still have only... I could have gotten to 58. Possibly with that. I needed 2 more... At least at the X12 chain, 2 more pops would have done it. Because the X12 chain grants a bonus of 1,500 points. The X13 takes it all the way up to 1,800 points. I do not like... do not like how restricted I left myself there. I will see if I will see here if I can potentially make a lag chain. To build things up a little sooner like that. Well, 8? No, I gotta be at least 14,000 in the first chain. I gotta do this in 2 chain sequences, so I have to average 15,000 points per chain. Maybe here? I had an X13 set up. I was already looking ahead without making sure I had the X13 ready. That's unfortunate. I want to try and make as few matches as I can while the stack is raising to the top, because you can swap while panels are raising, but it does cost some frames to swap while you're raising the stack. You just never know how much of a difference those frames could make separating yourself between a 57 and a 58. $16.1, alright. That helps. That is probably a bit premature. Where I wanted to start that chain. Try this again. I'm really going to be trying to start this lag chain up sooner. Try some like set it and forget it tactics. With how I didn't have any follow-up matches set up. Sure, there was a way I could have arranged that to pop like the extra 3 things I had ready there. would have been short. I definitely could have made that a little bit easier on myself. Alright. So if you are just tuning in, there actually is some sort of event for the Tetris Attack tournament scheduled for tomorrow over on the Puzzle Speedrun Twitch channel. However, seems very likely at this point that there will not be another person that signs up for it, meaning the event will be canceled and only the person that signed up for it will get admitted into the tournament field as a bottom seed for the major championship that starts next week. And we are going full speed ahead into Tetris Attack season. Oh, I thought I had the X13.
Oh my god!
I thought I had the X13 with the stars aligned there. But alas. Let's see, how much more? Let's see, how much more can I, like, rig? While things are... Let's see, 14-1 is probably fine. That's definitely not. Alright. Again! All I know to do at this point is keep on trying. And eventually... everything will align for me. I need more things to align for me than someone of a higher caliber like Yoshi, the record holder in the max score category, but the beautiful thing about these runs. Beautiful thing about this game, really. It's two matches away. Could have worked that. I could have worked that out in 2 more matches. That'd be another 3,600 points. That would have been it. Oh well. I'm close. I certainly feel close to at least matching this time on the easy level. And after that, one can consider upping the game level in order to one can consider upping the game level in order to risk not being able to make as many matches in favor of faster gravity. There's a part of me wondering if it should be a separate category. If the extra other game levels should be a separate category like they are in Pokemon Puzzle League Marathon mode. Does make me wonder sometimes. That's a bridge that could be crossed later when there's actually more people interested in playing the mode. Hey, Poultryman, sup, dude?
Dude!
Let me check a thing. Poultryman, since I got you here, are you interested in playing in the major championship? Because the deadline to accept the invitation for that expires in like a 12, wait, how many, like 15 hours? Sort of an opt-in that thing that we do for the tournaments to make sure that the people who are willing to play are like the people who qualified to play are going to be available. No, it's all been online. It's always been that way. But the schedule is a little different. Kind of need people to be available to play on Saturdays and Sundays. I can make some arrangements to record matches ahead of time, but it all starts a week from tomorrow, actually. And it's set to run till the end of April. Which only the top players are going to be playing that long anyway. So for most people, it'll be a handful of weekends in March that they would be able to participate. The main difference between the major championship and our monthly opens is that it's a double elimination event. And those double elimination, the double elimination events that we've been holding every year since, for this game, since 2016. Is the one where you compete for the title and for the prize pool. And even just for participating, there is a random chance to win a tiny portion of the prize pool. There's like a little raffle. That I will give out to everyone who participates in the big championship. But it does take a much larger commitment than the monthly events. In our Discord, there's a sign-ups channel where there's a tournament sign-ups channel where you can click a little reaction and opt in. To the thing. I wanted to make sure I brought it up while you were here, because the time is short on that. I try to give everyone about 1 week to decide if they were going to be in or out. No, you play in the tournaments. You're qualified. You've been invited just by virtue of playing in the monthlies. That's all you need to do to qualify for the major championship, because we don't have the usual. We don't have the turnouts that would merit keeping people out necessarily. Yeah, everyone that played in any of the monthlies was invited to play in the major championship. I hope you clicked on the first one, not the second one. It's not the last chance qualifier. It is definitely not the last chance qualifier. That's for people who have never played in the opens. Who have never played in the opens for the year. There we go. There we go. I will make sure to change the icons for next time, because you are not the first person to make that mistake. I need to double check who the 16 seed is. Because that's going to create a very unfortunate scenario where the 16 seed is going to have to do an extra round of play against Yoshi. So that really sucks eggs for them, but I couldn't think of a better way to allow late entrance. No. No, Poultryman, I put a little preview for the bracket next to the signups. You were the 15 seed. So, let's see, how is this going to stack up as things stand right now? At this precise moment, Deagle has not responded to the invitation. Bowser, Blamejah has not responded to the invitation. Those are the only two. So if those two do not respond, Poultryman, you will get pushed up to the 13 seed. And would be playing the 12 seed I Like Being Smart in the first round of the tournament. The unlucky 16 seed would be Fudu. Oh boy. Fudu. I know Fudu would hate to play Yoshi in the first round. That would be kind of a discouraging thing, but I don't know. It doesn't feel right to. It doesn't feel right to give someone who hasn't played in the regular tournaments a high seed. On the other hand, I don't think anyone would care necessarily if it was specifically Yoshi. Which is the complicating thing. Like, Yoshi is the bottom seed. This absolutely just wrecks in the early rounds. Perhaps I could justify a champions exemption in the future. Like maybe anyone who has maybe someone who has won the event before. Could potentially be gifted the 9 seed or something. $16 versus $17 feels a bit too harsh. Again, I'm brainstorming things I would like to do, but ultimately it is supposed to be the community tournament, not my tournament. Community has to be the one coming together to make that sort of agreement. I have no desire to play the role of tyrant in running the tournaments. Maybe when I first started organizing the tournaments and trying to get a feel for what the format should be, I kind of was. Like I felt like I was telling people, like, we are going to run the tournament this way. And if you don't like it, then kind of like tough cookies. I definitely have no desire to behave that way. And I think there is a workaround for that I could easily codify to achieve that effect. That's not gonna work. I think we can just. It's possible. We can just like put in like an honorary exemption for anyone that has won the tournament in question in the past. Just give them an exemption into the next automatic seeding. So, like, for instance, for this year, it's like for this year, there were only 3 automatic winners. Like, only FFR Beefin and myself won opens. So I could still under this proposed change offer an exemption for Yoshi into the next automatic spot. If there's one, if there's not one available, it'll go to the 9 seed. But in this instance, I think it could go to the 4 seed, and considering it's Yoshi, I don't think anyone would care. at the same time, I just have no interest in the rewarding rewarding people for not playing the punishing people for playing in the tournaments and not rewarding people for not playing. I don't know, that's something I'm gonna want to urgently bring up to the community for this tournament, because yeah, there's something icky. There is something icky about Yoshi playing in the first round. And there being an instant blowout. Like, we all know the odds would not be good for Fudu to win that opening round. We have a very good inkling that Yoshi will just breeze through the next round after that. Just gotta think of what the there's a concern. There's like a competitive integrity concern to be had there. There's also like a competitive fairness concern to be had there as well. So yeah, that's something I'm gonna ponder on tonight. See if anyone will care if I were to put Yoshi in the 4 seed. Just for the sake of some semblance of competitive balance. If there's a strong opposition to it, I won't do it, but I don't think too many people would care. Alright, well, I have some food for thought to consider now that that thought has crossed my mind. So why don't we go ahead and wrap things up for tonight? The journey there was largely fruitless, but I played through so much of a single endless game tonight that perhaps something can be gleaned from it in the future. I don't know. I don't know how useful that footage will end up being, but it's there if anyone wants to look at it in the future. But for now, I might just keep grinding away at Endless next week. I'm not entirely sure yet, but I will let you dudes know on Twitter and YouTube and Patreon what I will be doing next week with that schedule. Just basically all the socials you can find the schedule whenever I post it sometime Monday. But yeah, all right. I think that's all I need to get through. I need to get out of here before the next break. That's gonna do it for me for today. Until next time, everyone, be decent to each other. Later, dudes.